Basically, I'm 32 years old and have been married to my current wife for 2 years. We are married under the regime of partial property sharing and have a joint account with 300,000. I earn more than she does. Have been working longer since I was 16 and saved money whenever possible. So, from that amount, 280k comes from my part. My wife's father has had a series of financial problems, which are already long-standing, including losing money during the pandemic, being self-employed, developing addictions to alcohol and gambling. Initially, I tried to help him despite not having much of a relationship with him. However, recently, my wife's mother told her that, in fact, due to interest, debts with suppliers, alcohol, etc., her father owed more than 400,000. She tried to hide it, and now they needed help. My wife got worried and told me she was going to use our money from the joint account to help her father. I thought we would help with a lawyer, etc., but she wants to give 290k for her father to be able to pay off debts. I said that wasn't fair because I worked and saved and sacrificed a lot of things I wanted for over 15 years to accumulate all that money, and I wouldn't just give it away, especially because he definitely wouldn't pay it back and would probably need financial help for years since he's not retired yet. She started crying and said I was selfish, only thinking about money and not about her and her parents. I talked to my friends and colleagues about the situation, and everyone said I was a jerk for not wanting to give the money, and that I would still have many years ahead to work for another 15 years to accumulate that money again. I don't know what to do, and I don't know if I'm a jerk. I feel that if I don't give it, we'll have a good chance of separating, and if I do, I'll feel really bad for all that effort being for nothing. And our relationship probably won't be so good because I said no initially. So, let me ask you, am I a jerk for not wanting to help my wife's father?
Hello, Sai here. I don't have the best relationship with my family. We kinda were abandoned from my father's side of the family when my parents changed religion, and my mother's side was never close because my grandma distanced herself from them. So, for being abandoned for my father's side of the family, I grow up very disattached to family bonds unto this day. I don't care about family stuff. So, in this situation, it's super easy for me to say, fuck you daddy, I'm not paying your gambling debt. I just have no sympathy. Let's see what people say in the comments section.
Sure, but why does he need to pay off this debt so urgently? Is someone threatening his life? If it were money to help with an illness, okay. But money to pay off a debt, I'd tell them to go to hell and deal with their own debt.
From what I understand, it's debts from all over the place. From banks, relatives, I don't know about loan sharks, but it's been accumulating for years. Taking out loans even when in debt, interest piling up, and it reached this point.
Some thoughts on this delicate situation. Given that your wife wants to help financially, find out exactly the value of each debt and to whom it is owed. Assess which debts really need to be paid. It's crucial to ask your in-laws for a plan on how they intend to get out of this situation. Why does your wife feel the need to help? Does she feel indebted to her parents? You know, when you're on a plane, they always say, put your mask on first before helping others. Meaning, if you're not okay, you can't help others.
300k. That's a house. Would you leave your house for your father-in-law to pay off bank debt?
You are a fool for putting in a joint account the money that you saved alone.
Actually, I wasn't really keen on it at first. I ended up making the decision because of my parents, friends, and her friends. Because now we would be just one. A couple that keeps separate accounts doesn't grow, and a bunch of other opinions. And if you look here on Reddit, you'll see that many people defend it too. Because I trust her and she's never done anything I couldn't trust, I decided to merge.
Friend, never make decisions based on others' pressures. Are the people who gave you that advice going to help you financially in the situation you're in now? For heaven's sake.
The thing is, this decision is yours. You work to earn the money, it's yours. And your girlfriend is also right in wanting to help her father from her point of view. It's unthinkable that he's a scammer. Try to resolve this through dialogue, express your opinion, listen to hers, and attempt to reach an agreement. If that isn't possible and neither side compromises, you might have to consider breaking up if either side complies. Because if something happens to her father, you will be seen as responsible.
Not lending equals risk of divorce. Lending equals risk of divorce. Since the risk is the same, I wouldn't lend.
Wow, man, it's tough. You said it all. Sacrificed a lot for 15 years to have that. You shouldn't use it for anyone but yourself or your family. If she keeps insisting on this, you'll have to decide between her and your future. And we already know what's more important, right? 2 years of a relationship is nothing compared to 15 years of effort.
I think no one is right or wrong. It's an unfortunate situation for all sides. I don't think you're wrong, and it's essential to establish your boundary in this case, not giving away the money you've worked for. But I understand your wife's side and wanting to help her father, but she also needs to be open to conversation. This isn't a problem with just two solutions, where you either help or don't. You can negotiate and discuss other ways to assist, even offering help with lawyers or other things, as you mentioned being willing to do. However, simply giving away all the money like that is also very unfair. Despite all this, it's her father's issue, the consequences of his actions. He's fortunate to have a daughter whose husband can help him, but this kind of demand on you doesn't need to be so heavy. That's it. Assert yourself and suggest a conversation.
Well, people are talking a lot about divorce, and I agree that this is inescapable in this situation. There is no kind way to explain to the wife that she only contributed 20,000 from that 300k, and they will not give all his lifework savings to help her father. Not to learn a lesson. The solution would be to sit down and talk, with no filter, and explain your point of view. I kinda understand that. This is important for her to help her father, because he is her father. But personally, I wouldn't give two fucks about it. And there wouldn't even be space for discussion. But that's me. What about you? Would you sponsor your father-in-law gambling addiction?